Happy New Year, YouTube, good googly. I went to the grocery store, not one, but two, on New Year's Eve. I knew better. My first job I ever had was working at a grocery store, and I knew what it would be like the day before Thanksgiving or before a major holiday or even before a snowstorm is supposed to be coming. I went in the first one. The potato chip aisle was decimated. There was a shopping cart turned over. There was kids screaming. There was a dude standing there with his shirt sleeve torn off and standing with one shoe on, glasses crooked, trying to call somebody on the phone. I don't know if he was trying to call to see if Red Cross had a potato chip rescue truck or what. There wasn't nothing left on the shelves but maybe some Ruffles, goat cheese, and sushi flavored chips. It was terrible. Then there were so many people circling the wine aisle, it looked like they were playing a game of Betty Ford musical chairs. Or maybe they was trying to create a vortex to go back in time where they was not late for their own party. Don't these people know that the holiday has been coming? You know it's coming. Next New Year's Eve's 364 days away, people. Be prepared. But I can't call them stupid. I can't call them idiotic because I was right in there with them. Oh my goodness gracious. But today's video, I'm going to talk about the Gen 4 versus Gen 3 Glocks. This subject has been beat to death. I'm just going to give my opinion. As you see here, I have a Gen 4 Glock 17 and a Gen 3 Glock 21 with a Blackhawk light setup on it. I'm not 100% sure that this is the best light you can buy, but I'm 99% sure that it's not. But it does okay. But this is a subject that has been beat to death, and I don't plan on beating it in the ground much further. The reason, and the only reason I prefer the Gen 4 is because of this mag release is quite a bit larger. I do like that. If you don't have hands like King Kong, the small mag release on the Gen 3 is hard to operate without changing your grip. This is a 21 SF. The only reason I haven't exchanged it or traded it for a Gen 4 is because I've had it so long. I've got so many rounds through it. I like it. It just stays by my bed. I'm not carrying this Glock 21. This Glock 21 with 13 rounds in it is terribly heavy, even without the light. I don't carry the 17 either. I have a 26 Gen 4 as well that I do carry. The grip texture, of course, is different, which that don't bother me because any Glock I get will end up with the Talon grips. I just acquired this Gen 4. I had a Gen 3, and I made a video, I believe, or two on it. Now, the first thing I do to all the Glocks when I get them is I work on the trigger a little. This transfer bar, I know you can't see this, but it's got a nub on the side. If you've got one made in the last few years, Gen 4 or Gen 3, it's got like they've punched in the side of this transfer bar where it rubs against the striker safety to disengage it. File that off. Take the trigger out, file that off. That'll gain you a half a pound on your trigger right there alone, nothing else. If you just file that off, you've gained a half a pound on your trigger. I don't know why they do it, don't care why they do it, but I know I get rid of it. Step one, I've put the trigger, the ghost transfer bar and all that in it. I've got the trigger down, well, according to this pile, this Wheeler gauge, it's right at 4.5 maybe. In between 4.5 and 5, depending on how you hold it. But I've done that as well to the 21. Now I do have a set of True Glow but these are not the TFOs. These are just the True Glow tritium night sights that I will put on the 17. I don't have them on my 21, and there's no reason I don't. I just haven't got around to doing it. I happen to have a set sitting around for the small slide, the 9s and the 40s, so I'm going to put them on this 17. If you got a situation where you can't put night sights on it, such as my LCPs or other guns, I will paint them. This Ruger SP 101, I've already painted the front one white. After that, I will put 2 coats of orange on it. The rear sight is basically just a channel cut in the top of the receiver. Now you can buy a night sight for this Ruger SP, but you have to knock out this roll pin. The new sight comes without a hole. You have to drill a hole all the way through your barrel, well, your frame, whatever you want to call it, and the new sight, and it's just a big pain, and I don't want to mess with it. So what I'm going to do is paint it a couple of coats of white and then a couple of coats of orange. If you've ever been in the makeup aisle at Walmart, which I had not, that's an experience all to itself. I was looking for some neon or fluorescent orange fingernail polish. Fingernail polish seems to work the best. I went into the makeup section of Walmart. I kind of regret that decision. I would have thought all the fingernail polish would have been together, but I would have been wrong. It is segregated by brand name, so there's 4 or 5 different sections of fingernail polish. As I'm standing there looking through them, I was not the only dude in there, surprisingly enough to me. That disturbed me a little, because I believe the other dude was shopping for makeup to wear. I'm shopping for fingernail polish to paint on a gun sight. Then, the one section, I forget what brand it was, that I thought I saw a bottle of orange, had about a 350 to 375 pound woman standing in front of it. She was bigger than the whole display. She was wearing a pair of flip-flops, looking at the fingernail polish. I kept my mouth shut, but I wanted to tell her, you need to take a trip back to the hardware section. You need a belt sander and a quart of Sherwin-Williams weather beater and a small roller. Run a belt sander across them feet a few times. Get you a quart. I mean, these little bottles wasn't going to do nothing for her. Lady, Revlon and Maybelline ain't got nothing for you. You need Sherwin-Williams and Black & Decker. And maybe a Farrier. I'm not sure. But I ended up finding this neon orange at Dollar General store. I've done at least 4 guns with it. I've done 2 LCPs. I'm about to do the SP101. And I've put it on a couple more. I like my night sights, but some guns like the LCP, you just can't put night sights on. It is possible to get a front tritium sight for the SP101, but I'm not going to go through the drilling and all that for this 5-shot revolver that I rarely ever carry anyway. So, find you some neon orange. And now they have paint in the craft section, but I found that the fingernail polish usually sticks the best. I'll put a couple of coats of white on, then a couple of coats, maybe 3 coats of the orange. Now you can get any color you want. Dollar General had neon green, neon orange, neon red, neon purple. I don't know what kind of freaks are painting their fingernails this color, but I'm using it to paint my guns, and it works really well. So, stay out of Walmart. That is like, the makeup section in Walmart's a whole different animal than the rest of the store. It's well lit. There's mirrors everywhere. It looks like the Funhouse mirror at Skank Village. But anyway, they didn't have any neon or fluorescent orange, but Dollar General did. And that's enough in this bottle to do 1,000 guns probably. So hopefully I won't never find myself in front of the makeup counter again. But anyway, I like the Gen 4 Glock better, to sum it up, just mainly because of the larger mag release. the grip don't bother me either way. The grip is a little bit smaller on the Gen 4. The Gen 4 comes with back straps you can add, and without any, it is actually about 1/8 of an inch smaller than a Gen 3 of the same model if you measure around it in 3 or 4 different places, which is helpful because it's still, I mean, unless you're Shaq or something, the grip on even a Gen 4 Glock 17 is big. So anything, the smaller the better as far as I'm concerned. I like the Gen 4 better. The texturing, it means nothing to me because I'm going to order a set of Talon grips for this anyway. But that's my 2 cents on that. There's a few more differences that everybody's done discussed. The double recoil spring, that's different on the Gen 4. Unless it's a 26 or 27, they've always had this. Either Gen 3 or Gen 4. But it's really just a question of the grip. And the mag release is my main reason for liking the Gen 4. Now, I've never had any problem out of any of them. And I've enjoyed shooting the Gen 3s and Gen 4s. I can't tell the difference in the trigger or anything else on any of them. Like I said, the only reason I haven't changed my 21 to a Gen 4 is because I've had this one so long and put so many rounds through it. I'm just going to keep it. Only place this thing sits is on my headboard. So it's got its home, and that's where it's going to stay. Well, that's about all I got to complain about, and that's about all I got to talk about. So that's about all I'm going to say on this video. Thanks for watching. See you next time when I talk bad about the AR-15 and make a lot of people mad.